Pushing things to the extreme is always an interesting practice. Whether you're trying to make things extremely difficult or extremely simple, there is always a lesson to learn from pushing things to a limit. When it comes to playing chords, we can decide to play the most extremely difficult chords or the most simple chords. It's totally up to us. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play the most simple chords. Chords that can be played with just one finger. The goal though is not to learn these chords and move on to the next thing, but rather understand the how and why we can make these chords so simple. So we're going to break these chords down and learn the notes that we are actually playing, so that you can not only learn how to play the chords, but also understand why and how we can play them. You can get the tab, just check my Patreon page and subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up with all the upcoming lessons. Now, let's get started with the most simple chords that you can play on the guitar. Now we are in a key of G major, which makes it possible to create beautiful sounding chords with just one finger. Now the chords that we are about to play are the G major chord, the E minor, the D major, and the C major chord. But we're gonna play the chords like this. So as you can see, I'm using one finger per chord. Obviously, I'm playing some open strings just to outline the chords, obviously, and it makes the whole thing really, really simple. Now, the first chord I'm playing is the G major chord. Let's analyze the notes of this chord. We have the note G, the B, and the D. So the root note, the third, and the fifth. So I can play this chord like this, just the root note on the low E string, fret number 3, which is the note G, and the B string open. So I'm only fretting one single note. The second chord is the E minor. Beautiful sounding chord. The E minor has 3 notes, the note E, the note G, and the note B. The root note, the third, and the fifth. But in this case, we're only gonna fret one note, the B string fret number 8, and we're gonna play the low E string as the bass note. So we're playing the root note and the minor third G. The third chord is the D major. Beautiful sounding chord. We're playing the root note D, the F sharp, which is the major third, and the fifth, which is the A. So we can play the D like this, just with the root note and the B string, fret number 7, which is the F sharp, the major third. We only fret one note. And the last chord is it's the C major, which we only play with the root note on the low E string, fret 8, and the top E string, which is the root note and the major third. The notes for the C major are just the C, E, and G. So we only fret the bass note. When you put the whole thing together, now obviously once we define the chords, we can then add an arpeggio to just add more notes to the chords. All the notes that we are adding though will be open strings, and so we keep playing the chords with just one finger. So So what I'm doing here, I'm just playing 4 strings, just the 6th, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd for the G. For the E minor, I'm playing 6, 3, 2, and 1. For the D major, I'm playing 4, 3, 2, and 1, beautiful sounding chord. And for the C major, I'm playing 6, 3, 2, and 1. So the chords are now G major, E minor. Now this is a D add 11 chord, and a C major 7 chord. So we're adding some extensions, but all these notes are open strings, and so you don't have to worry about fretting any other notes. We can also make things even more interesting and add a simple melody between some of the chords. So I'm just playing the G major chord, and then the B string for number 1, 3, and then the E minor. And then on the D major, I'm just playing the chord as we learn it, and then the arpeggio. The D string, the B string, the B string fret number 10, and then the E string open. And then we play the chord. So. Now we can obviously take it to the next level and use this concept melodically as well. We're going to use the same type of chords, but we're going to add a melody on one string. So we're going to play it like this. So here I'm still playing chords with just one finger. So I'm playing the E minor chord just as we learned it, with the low E string open and the B string fret number 8, the minor 3rd, and I'm playing an arpeggio here. So I'm playing the low E string and the B string together, and then the top E string open. I do that twice, the second time without the bass. And then I'm playing the melody. So I'm playing the B string for number 8, 10, 12, and 8. The next chord is D major, and I'm playing the B string for number 10. Now this note is A, which is the 5th of the D major chord. So I can definitely use it as is one of the notes as part of the chord. So I will play the D and the B string for number 10. The same arpeggio, and then the melody on the B string for number 10, 12, 13, and 10 again. And then I finish with the last chord, the A minor. Now for the A minor, I'm playing the B string for number 12 simultaneously with the low E string. 2, 3, 4, and then I'm playing the B string for number 8, and 7, and 5. So the melody is slightly longer on the A minor chord. So when you put the whole thing together, again, and we can finish with the A minor chord and just play the fret 12 on the B string, 8, 7, and 5, and we'll finish with an E minor chord. So that's it, guys. This is how we can use this concept of playing chords with just one finger to really come up with beautiful sounding ideas. Now obviously we can't use this concept in any key. The G major key is pretty cool, as we just realized. The E minor key as well. The E major key as well is actually pretty good. But at the same time, we have to also analyze all these chords and figure out which notes we can play. So there is a lot of research behind these chords. And so you really want to take it step by step and learn this melody and then just try to come up with your ideas. So I'm gonna leave you to practice this. Just take it step by step, guys, and let me know if you like the lesson. So I'm gonna see you next time for another video. Enjoy this lesson.